full mark 6. Let's jump straight into it with the English section. So what we have here is a passage all about mushrooms. Question 1. Paragraph 1 helps to... Paragraph 1 is all about defining what mushrooms are. It's defining a general term. The answer is A. Paragraph 3. The author notes the difference between 1, 2, 3. This is paragraph 3. What the author is noting is the difference between fungi and mushrooms. The answer is B. As used in paragraph 4, the word toxic means, toxic means poisonous. So it is harmful to humans. Paragraph 6, the author suggests that earlier civilizations did not. 4, 5, 6. Earlier civilizations thought that mushrooms were magical, meaning they didn't understand them as well as we do now. The answer is B. Question 5. According to the passage, a single mushroom contains nearly 1 billion spores. Each of the following is involved in the professional mushroom growing process except here. We look here, spores, spawns and substrates, but there's no mention of shards. The answer is C. 7. The penultimate, or second to last paragraph of the passage, describes which of the following questions. This is the second to last. See, this is the last. This is the second to last. And what it's describing is how mushrooms are used in kitchens. The answer is A. According to the passage, mushrooms are unlike most other vegetables due to their, paragraph 1 mentions that there's a high variety, but it doesn't say anything about the variety of other vegetables. However, they grow in a way no other vegetable does. Their growth process is different to other vegetables. What about their nutritional content? Most other vegetables are not good sources of any of the same nutrients as fungi. So their nutritional content is also different. The answer is C. Moving on to a blizzard in Birmingham. Question 9. As used in paragraph 1, what does the phrase accustomed to mean? Well, accustomed to means you're gotten used to something. The answer is A, used to. Question 10. What is the best antonym for infrequent? Well, antonym means a word that means the opposite of something else. So the opposite of infrequent means frequent, something that happens a lot, something common. Question 11. With respect to the impact of the storm, it can be understood that let's look at the passage here. The snow converged in the eastern part of the UK to create the storm of the century. So it affects the eastern United Kingdom. The answer is B. Question 12. The author most likely describes the storm as magical because, everybody was in shock. The snow is always normally too sparse. This is a lot more snow than normal. And it was unexpected. It was such an unusual thing to happen. The answer is B. Question 13. How are the kids different from the adults? Well, as we said, the adults are in shock because they weren't prepared for it. However, the kids set about having the time of their lives. They were having fun. The adults didn't know what to do, but the kids had fun. The answer is C. Question 14. The Turner kids' ideas for playing in the snow can be described as creative, effective, or complicated. Well, they made snow angels. They figured out if they put their feet in plastic bags, his feet stayed warmer. So they were creative. And for days they had a splendid time. So they were having an effective time. Their ideas for having fun were very effective, but they weren't complicated. They're things that anyone can do. They're not complicated. The answer is creative and effective only. Moving on to punctuation. In these sentences, there's a mistake. Let's see if we can find it. Question 15. There's not much time left, wailed Christina. We need to act now before it's too late. The mistake is in this part of the sentence, where it here is a contracted word, meaning needs an apostrophe. The answer is D. Question 16. The church is slightly to the west of the park, around 200 metres beyond the station. West does not need a capital letter. It must all be in lowercase letters unless it's at the start of a sentence. So the answer is in this part of the sentence. The answer is B. Question 17. Before finishing his homework, Sam sneaked out through the window to go and play. These parts of the sentence must be separated by a comma. The answer is B. Question 18. They're all planning to go to the club after the game to have dinner and socialise. The word there is another contraction. Must have an apostrophe there. The answer is A. Question 19. All of her delicately constructed decorations were suddenly lying in ruins. Were suddenly lying in ruins. This comma isn't necessary for the sentence. It causes unnecessary break when you're saying the sentence or reading it. The answer is C. Question 20. If Joe managed to pass the exam, his father would promise him to buy him a new game. If Joe managed to pass the exam, comma, his father promised to buy him a new game. The answer is B. English spelling. In one of these sentences, there's a spelling mistake. The leaflet explained how members could fully enjoy the benefits of the leisure centre. Leisure here, the I comes before the S. The answer is D. Claire forgot to attach the document to the email before she sent it to her teacher. There is no mistake in this sentence. The answer would be N, for no mistake. 23. Vera dreamt of owning a small plot of land where she could grow her own vegetables. Vegetables has an E there. In this, there is no E. You see there? There's no E between the G and the T. So the answer is D for this part of the sentence. 24. David's apparently lack of sympathy for his opponent was criticised by the journalist. Journalist, spelled Journalist. There is a U there that isn't in here. The mistake is in D. 25. The importance of signs and symbols in early societies cannot be underestimated. Symbols, spelt with an O, not an A. The answer is B. 26. Crying tears of joy. The conductor sincerely and profusely thanked the audience. Sincerely, this R and this E switch places. So the answer is B. Moving on to the maths section of the paper. Question 1. How many more black rhinos than Indian rhinos are there in the captive population? Well, let's look at the captive population and let's look at black rhinos and Indian rhinos. There's 250 black rhinos, 140 Indian. 250 minus 140 equals 110. The answer is D. Question 2. Ashraf thinks of a number between 1 and 20. This table shows information about his number. Is his number even? No, it's not. His number is odd. Is it a multiple of 3? Yes. Is it a factor of 18? No. So let's narrow down what his numbers could be. Multiple of 3, and it's odd. 3, 9, 15. Is it a factor of 18? No. 3 and 9 are both factors of 18. The answer is 15. Look at the square drawn on the graph. What are the coordinates of point A? Well, it's a square, so all sides are equal. So the height here is 6 minus 2 is 4. And the length there is the same because it's a square. It's also 4. Half of 4 is 2. So we can split that into 2 2's. We can split this side, the height, into 2 2's. So 5 minus 2 is 3, and 6 minus 2 is 4. That means the halfway point has the coordinates 3, 4. The answer is A. Find the value of x. 5x minus 3 equals 12. Well, 5x, my apologies, my pen is not very good today. 5x, turn that to an x, equals 15. We plus 3 to both sides. 5x equals 15. Now, let's divide both sides by 5. And what we get is x equals 3. The answer is C. Question number 5. What number is 378 times as big as 1,756? These are some big numbers here. However, if we break it down, it's completely doable. So let's do our long multiplication here. Multiply these together, 0. Multiply these together, those and those. And the number we end up with is E. Question 6. Some people use this rule to work out how many hours sleep each night young children need. And the rule being, subtract the child's age in years from 30, then divide the result by 2. Sanjay is 8 years old. We're using this rule. 30 minus 8 is 22. That's subtract the child's age in years from 30. Divide the result by 2. 22 divided by 2 is 11. The answer is D. Question 7. 100 grams of cheese costs 46p. Peter buys 250 grams of cheese. How much does he pay? Well, he pays 46 plus 46 plus half of 46. What is half of 46? 23. Add that all together, you get 115. 115p is the same as £1.15. The answer is B. The diagrams show an equilateral triangle and a square. The side length of the equilateral triangle is 8.4 centimetres. The perimeter of the square, meaning this distance, is the same as the perimeter of the equilateral triangle, meaning this distance. Well, let's work out the side length of the square. Equilateral triangles, every side in an equilateral triangle is equal, meaning this side is 8.4, this side is 8.4, and this side is 8.4. Let's do 8.4 times 3. One there. Add the 1. 252. That's 25.2 is the perimeter. Now the perimeter for the square is the same. But we want each individual side. So divide by 4. And the answer you get is 6.3 centimetres. Question 9. What percentage of the boys walk to school? This paper, my version, has a mistake on it. So we're looking at the boys. We're looking at just these two. So 2 plus 8 equals 10. What percentage of 10 is 2? Well, it's 20%. That isn't any of the answers on my version of the paper. I don't know what it is for yours, but the answer is 20%. Question 10. A straight piece of model car track is 20 centimetres in length. How many of these straight pieces are needed to make a 1 metre track? Well, 1 metre is the same as 100 centimetres. If we divide 100 by 20, we get 5. We need 5 tracks to make a 1 metre track. Tins of beans cost 36p each. What is the largest number that John can buy with £2? £2, the same as 200 pennies. So we need to find the largest whole number of 36 that we can put into 200. Well, the answer is 5. 36 times 5 equals 180. We have a remainder of 20p. We can't fit 36p into 20p. So we can only afford 5 tins. Moving on to question 12. Concorde could fly 1 mile every 3 seconds. How many miles per hour is that? Well, there are 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. Every 3 seconds, you divide by 3. There are 1,200 groups of 3 seconds in 1 hour. So 1 mile times 1,200 is D. 1,200 miles per hour. Question 13. The feeding times for some animals in the zoo. A visitor arrives at the zoo at 1:45 p.m. How many minutes later does the next time for the elephants to feed start? Well, he's missed that one. He's there in time for this one. But how long between 1:45 and 2:15? 30 minutes. You have 15 minutes to 2 p.m. You have 15 minutes past 2 p.m. The answer is E, 30 minutes. Question 14. In America, there are coins worth 25 cents. These coins are called quarters because 4 of them make $1. How many quarters makes $3? Well, it's 4 quarters for $1. Multiply that by 3. 3 times 4 is 12. 5% of 80 is what? Well, easy way to do this, 10% of 80. To find 10% of 80, chop that 0 off, and you get 8. 5% is half of 10%. So we need a half that. And what is half of 8? 4. The answer is B, 4. Question 16. The diagram shows 4 different sized barrels. Barrel C holds half of the amount barrel B holds. Barrel C holds of the amount barrel A holds. 18 is half of 36. But what is it of 54? Well, 54 divided by 18 equals 3. You times 18 by 3. 18 times 1, 18. 18 times 2, 36. And times 3 equals 54. So barrel C holds 1/3 of the amount barrel A holds. Question 17. These 5 shapes here. Shape is the only shape with no lines of symmetry? Well, what shapes do have lines of symmetry? There's a line of symmetry there. And B, there are lines there, there, there. So it's not A, it's not B. It's not C, there are lines there. D, there are lines of symmetry in D. Just to check though, there is a line of symmetry there on E. So the answer is D. Question 18. These are the names of the 12 people who work for a company. One person leaves the company, a different person joins. Now the name that is the mode is Tom. What does this mean? Somebody leaves and somebody joins. There is now a new Tom. My mistake, my pen is acting up on me. Tom in the company. The mode is the variable with the most frequency in the box. So there would be 3 Toms, and that would be more than any other name. Well, currently, there's 3 Claires. So 3 Toms isn't more than 3 Claires. It's the same amount. So Claire would also be the mode. So what that means is that one of these Claires leaves. Now you're left with 2 Claires and 3 Toms. That makes 3 Toms the largest group. The answer is C. Claire leaves the company. Question 19. Carlos and Mary each did a survey. Carlos asked people, have you ever been to North America? 40 people said no. 40 people is 80%. 20% of the people said yes. 20% is a quarter of 80%. So the people that said yes is a quarter of 40. What is a quarter of 40? It's 10. Question 20. In this design, the ratio of grey to black is 3:1. What is the percentage of the design that is black? 3 plus 1. 1 is a quarter of 4. That means this black section is a quarter of the whole shape. 25%. Question 21. This sequence here, the grey hexagons are adding 1 each time. The sequence for that is n plus 1. See, there's 2, and then there's 3, and then there's 4. Sequence for the white hexagons is plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. They're adding 2 each time. 2n. So when n is 1, that is pattern number 1. There is n plus 1. There is 2 grey. And 1 times 2. 2 white. We take n is 20. There is 21 plus 2 times 20. 61 hexagons in total. Question 22. Sponsored swim. £429, 24p. We round that up. 24 is greater than 5, so we round up. We would round up to the nearest 10. £429. and 29 rounds out to 430. Answer is A. Question 23. There is an equal number of packets of each type of fish. And because there is 4 types of fish, it's a 25% chance for each. The answer is A. Look at the diagrams showing 3D shapes. One of the shapes is a square face and 4 triangular faces. Which of these shapes is a square face? A does. B doesn't. C does. D doesn't. That's a rectangle. And E does. But which has 4 triangular faces? Well, A doesn't. E doesn't. 1, 2, 1 in the back, 1 on the side. The answer is C. Square-based pyramid. Question 25. We have this melon, and it weighs somewhere between 800 and 1,000. But this line here is halfway between 800 and 1,000. This line is 900 grams. So we now know this melon weighs between 900 and 1,000 grams. It's pointing halfway between 900 and 1,000. It's pointing 950 grams. So that is the answer. The answer is C. Non-verbal reasoning. So in this section, each of these letters relates to a feature about the shape. And how we can answer these ones is to look for examples where the letter is the same, such as for the P here. What do they have in common with each other? They're both 4-sided shapes. So you can assume that for R, it can relate to it being a 5-sided shape, same as this one. Put that as R. This bottom letter, these are both M. What do they have in common? They have lines moving in this direction. These are both H. They both have lines moving that direction, same as the test shape. So that's H. The answer is B. Question 2. These are both M. What do they have in common? They're both circles. This is an M, could be a triangle. G, H, and I, they're all different. But so is the number of circles inside the shape. See, G has 0 circles, H is 1 circle, and I has 2. G is 0. This one also has 0 circles. So that can be G. The answer is A. Question 3. These are both R. What do they have in common? Well, the shape on the inside isn't the same as the shape on the outside. For J, they're both squares. That's a square inside a square. Same as this is a pentagon inside a pentagon, meaning that can be J. These are both M. What do they have in common? They both have dotted lines. This is N. It's a solid line the whole time. So that N as well. The answer is C. Question 4. These are both S. What do they have in common? They are both parallelograms. And these are both R. They're both hexagons. Same as this. That's R. The letter at the bottom, these are both F. The shape on the inside, same colour. Both has lines moving in that direction. This is all white on the inside, so that is white as well. R is G. Question 5. These are all different. But what else is all different is the shapes that they are. This is a square. And these two are both different shapes. So if we assume that it is the shape, this is the same shape as this, so that is H. For the bottom letter, these are both P, but they are both dotted lines, same as this one. P there, Q is a solid line, so it can't be Q. So H, P, the answer is C. Question 6. Again, these are all different letters. D is a square, E is a that, and F is that shape. This is also this shape, so that is F. B and B, what do they have in common? They both have one X on the inside. This also has one X on the inside, so that is B. The answer is FB. Question 7. This series goes from a hexagon to a pentagon to a hexagon to a pentagon to, it can be assumed it's another hexagon. So, because all the hexagons are shaped on their side, cross that one out, cross that one out, cross that one out, no idea what's going on there. This and this, both hexagons. What we need to look for next, which direction are the lines going? They start off moving that way. Then on this one, that way. They're going to be that way again. The answer is A. Question 8. This circle, what's it doing? Every time, if we look at 3, 4 and 5, it moves around one. It goes from there to there, and from there to there in this one. But what's it doing every time? It's changing from black to white to black again. It can be assumed this one will be a white circle in this bottom corner there. Cross those out. White circle in that corner, white circle in that corner, white circle in that corner. What are these lines doing? Well, for one, they're all staying pointed in the same direction. All of these lines are pointed that way. In that one, it's not. And in that one, it's not. So the answer, B. Question 9. 1 arrow down, 2 up, 3 down, 4 up, 5 down. Answer is C. Question 10. Got these semicircles. In the next box, every time that semicircle is completed into a full circle, then the halves of the circle that are white turn to black, and those that are black turn to white each time. See that? This side there, that's black originally, turns to white. This side's white, turns to black. And each time, every time there's a semicircle, that is then filled in the next one. That becomes a full circle. See that semicircle? Full circle in the next one. So this semicircle should become a full circle in the next one. And the sections that are black turn to white and white to black. So, it will be D. Question 11. We have this arrow here. Every step of the sequence, it rotates a little bit clockwise. It's moving this way around the circle. So it can be assumed in the final step, it has rotated all the way around and is now pointing upwards. That crosses off D. What's this little line doing? Well, step 1, it's at one end of the arrow. Step 2, it's at the other end of the arrow. It's down by this side. Step 3, it's no longer on the arrow at all. Step 4, it's back to where it started off. It's back at the circle end. Step 5, it can be assumed it moves back down the other end and is now the end there. The answer is either C or D. Sorry, C or E. So what's going on with this circle here? Well, step 1, this side's black. Step 2, if we rotate it, this side becomes white. Comes black again, comes white again. So in the final step, it should be black. That would mean C is the answer. Question 12. We start off with 4 black shapes and 2 white shapes. We skip a step, don't know what happens there. We end up with 4 white shapes, 2 black shapes. Then the next step, 5 white shapes, 1 black shape. Next step, 6 white shapes, 0 black shapes. It seems that in every step, we lose 1 black shape and gain 1 white shape. That would mean we need 3 of each. So which one has 3 white shapes, 3 black shapes? That one does. That one does. That one does. Cross those off. Is there anything else we can spot about these shapes? Well, these white ones, all triangles. The whole way through. That narrows it down from that one. And these black shapes, these pentagons, they're always facing upwards. They're always shaped like that. They're never shaped like that. You notice that? So in this one, D, the pentagon is pointing more like that, which means it's not that one. The answer is A. Question 13. You have this U shape, which seems to flip every time. It goes from pointing like that to point like that, point like that, point like that. In the middle, in this step, could be pointing like that. So let's cross off those two where it's not. Notice when it flips as well, it switches what side of this line it's on. You never get this there, and you never get this there. Do you notice that as well? So it's not C. So is it A or B? Well, what's going on with these black circles? There's 1 there, 2 there, skip 1, 4 there, and 5 there. So, step 3, 3 there. That would be. Question 14. You have this Y shape. What's going on there? Well, let's start off with the Y is flipping upside down every time. Notice that? Here, it's like that, like that, then like that. So it can be assumed this step is flipped on its axis. It's flipped on its head. What's going on with these lines here? Well, it starts off with 1, skip 1, then you get 3, and you're back to 1 and then 2. Could it be that it's increasing by 1 every time? 1, 2 maybe, 3, 1, 2, then if it continues, 3. So which one of these has 2? Well, D has 2. The answer is D. The next section, analogy. So in this section, the idea is there's a change between these two shapes that we then have to apply that same change to this shape to get one of these. So in this example, the square rotates 90 degrees anti-clockwise, so this black side is here. If we apply that same change to this shape, rotate it 90 degrees that way, it should be shaped like that, i.e. answer D. Question 16. You have a pentagon on the inside that flips upside down and is then filled with diagonal lines. If we did that same thing, this triangle on the inside, it would be shaped like that. It would look like that. cross out that one, cross out that one, cross out that one, because these are the only two with that upside down triangle. What's happening to the shape on the outside? That goes from a 4-sided shape to a 3-sided shape. It loses one side. So this is a 6-sided shape. It would lose one side, become a 5-sided shape. And the answer is E. Question 17. You have a black shape with a white shape on the inside, turns into a white shape with a black shape on the inside. Same thing there. Black shape, white shape on the inside, turn it into a white shape with a black shape on the inside. Nothing else about it changes. Question 18. So you have a circle and a sort of shield shape. The circle then ends up on top, and the shield shape flips upside down and is below it. The shapes inside them, so this triangle there and this shape there, they both flip upside down and switch the shape they're in. So, on this one, this square and this triangle, the square would go on top, the triangle would go upside down below. This arrow would switch the shape it's in so that it's now in the triangle and it's pointed upwards. And this sort of keyhole shape would swap so that it's in the square and it would be upside down. So the answer would be E. Question 19. So we have these two squares and this shield shape on the inside. This shield shape flips from that to that. And these two squares end up on the inside along with one black dot. Do the same thing here. Flip that upside down. That becomes that. And obviously make it grow. These two triangles go on the inside plus the black dot. The answer is D. Question 20. So we have this white shape on the outside and then a smaller half black, half grey shape. And that becomes this. We do the same to this triangle. All it simply comes down to is the colour on the left, which is this greyish tone, becomes the one in the middle of the final piece. And the colour on the right, which is the white, becomes the left side here. Do the same thing there. Colour on the right would go there, and then that would be a black triangle reminiscent of E, which is the correct answer. Question 21. So you have these house shapes and the balls on the outside. This black shape becomes the end of the triangle and the ball goes on the inside. We do the same thing there with these. This would become black and then we would get a square on the inside. And they would be pointed in at that angle. The answer is A. Question 22. You have a house shape with a black triangle, white square and a white circle inside. And you end up with a white square, white triangle, white house shape, black circle. Do the same thing here. You look, they're sort of in the same positions as they are on the example. This oval would end up inside. This white circle would end up inside. And this D shape, like this circle in the bottom left corner, would become black. And they would all be inside a what shape now? Circle. And my mistake, that would be the little chess sheep. chess piece shape. Like an E. White oval, white chess piece, black D, inside a white circle. Alright, question 23. Find the figure like the first two. So what are the similarities between these two shapes? Well, the shape on the inside, as in the pentagon inside this parallelogram, has one more side than the shape on the outside. So inside you've got a 5-sided shape, and outside you have a 4-sided shape. This triangle, 3-sided shape, on the inside you have a 4-sided shape. So again, the shape on the inside has one more side than the shape on the outside. Which of these examples does that correlate to? Not that one, not that one, not that one, not that one, but D. 6-sided shape inside a 5-sided shape. The shape on the inside has one more than the shape on the outside. Question 24. What can we notice about this? See, the arrow is always pointed at the white circle. Both times, this arrow points at the white circle on the outside. Well, it doesn't there. It kind of does there, but it looks kind of weird. So what do we have left? We have B, C, and D. Well, the arrow does not touch the edge there. I've made that kind of hard to see. If you look there, there is space there, there is space there. There's no space on that one, so it's not B. And finally, there's a line there. There's no line there. There is a line there. The answer, D. Question 25. What we have here are two triangles which are rotated versions of each other. Sorry, I'm on a rubber right now. This triangle here and this triangle there. One is black, one is white, but they're the same size, just rotated. You could rotate this black circle, that's this black triangle round, sorry, and it would look the same as this white triangle, aside from the fact that it is black. Same with this one. They're the same shape, just one is black and one is white. This, they are not the same shape. This, they're not the same shape. And this, they're not the same shape. It's not C, because although they look like they're the same, you rotate this black shape, and it's a flipped version of this white shape. You rotate it around, it's not the same, it's mirrored. The answer is B. Matrices is sort of the same as the analogy questions we did earlier. There is a change between this box and this box that we must replicate from this box to this box. We need to look at these as rows. What happens on this row must happen to this row. Let me rub that out. So, what change occurs from there to there? Well, the shape flips, pointing that way, now it's pointing that way. It shrinks, used to be a big arrow, and now it's a small arrow. And it's also now coloured in. We do that to the same one on this shape. It's pointed that way, let's point it that way. Let's shrink it down and let's shade it in. The answer is C. Question 27. So our 3 lines, our 3 rows. This arrow goes from 1 to 2 lines to 3 lines. This goes from 3 to 4 to 5. Is that 1 line added each time? This goes from 2 to 3. It will then become 4. What's happening there? Well, on each row, on these blocks of 4 shapes, you go from diagonally, and you get one vertically and one horizontally. horizontally, vertically, diagonally. Diagonally, horizontally. One of them must be vertically, so it's there. The answer is E. So next up, we've got 2D views of 3D shapes. So imagine here, you've got a clump of Lego. Lots of different pieces in lots of different directions. And you're looking at this piece of Lego from one angle. And then one of these is that same piece of Lego from a different angle. Right? So what we've got to do is we've got to look at which pieces stick out further than the rest, the heights of them, the spaces between them. We look at here, we must have a tall piece in the back there. This piece here. That could be that. Could be any one of these. But this, as you can see, this block here sticks out further than this one. So we look at it from this angle, this sticks out slightly further than this one does. This one sticks out further than this one does. This one isn't the same height as this one, so it can't be this. And there seems to be a space there between them, so it can't be that one. You have a space there, no space there. Sorry, you have a space there as well. Don't have a space there, so it can't be that one. That's not the same length as that. So the answer is A. Question 29. You have this. It's almost a circle, almost a donut. It's got this hole in the centre. It's got this piece that sticks out. We flip it around, this piece sticks out. It has that hole. You see that gap there? That gap is also there. That's a strong contender. This gap is not on this side, so it can't be that one. Could be that one. There's a gap there, this bit sticks out. This bit doesn't stick out on this side, it sticks out on that side. That's not right, so it's not D. The reason we know it's A is because you look at the top. That should only be made up of two pieces. One short piece there and one long piece. One short piece, one long piece. This is three short pieces, so it can't be C. Question 30. You have that. You rotate it around. This can't be right, because this long piece should be in line with this. So it should be there. So that can't be right. B, it's like steps. That's nothing like that. That square would be moved over to there if it was steps, so it can't be B either. C sticks up there, there's a space in between them, just like that space. You got a bit that's not quite as tall in the back, looks like that, could be C. D seems to just be this flipped, so it can't be D. Question 31. Again, it's like steps. That isn't the same as that. That would have to be there for those steps to make sense. So it can't be A. Answer B. Can't be that, because that would again have to be there. It's not that. C, there's a space down the centre here. There's no space there. Can't be C. D, yeah, it's looking right. That block is one further than there. It's like got that space there. Got the tall one in the back. The answer is D. 32. long piece sticks out there. Sticks out there on that one. That block is on one end of this long piece. It's not in the centre, so it can't be C. B, it's in the centre. Sorry, it's at one end, but it seems to be on the wrong side. This is on the left. If we rotate that round, it would look like that. It's on the wrong side. That's on that side. That's not right. So it can't be B. And then A doesn't even have the long piece. So the answer is D. Moving on. Punch, hole, punch, and fold. Said that wrong. Fold, hole, punch, and unfold. Right. So what we've got to do for that, we look at the final piece and we look at what folds have been made there. If I zoom right in, let's take this one. We've made a fold there. And we've made a fold there. And then we've made a fold there. So we put that dot there, that would unfold to there. Right? It's like mirroring. Oops. It's like mirroring. That would mirror to there. So there'll be another dot there. That would mirror to there. Over this line. And then that is too short to affect them. So what we would end up with is a dot there where it's flipped over this line, and a dot there where again it's flipped over that line. The answer there would be C. Question 34. We folded it in half there. We folded it again there. And then we folded it there. So put that dot there. That would unfold to that. These two mirror over this line. And then all of this mirrors over this line. So you would end up with this sort of pattern. The answer is B. Question 35. You've got your dot there. You've folded that in half, so the dot would mirror across this line. You folded it in half there. These two would mirror. You folded that in half there, so they would mirror across that line. And what you would end up with is this shape. Look at our answers. That's the same as D. The answer is D. Cubes and nets. Question 36. So when this grey square with the white arrow is touching this Z or N, it's touching the long side of it. So in A, it'd be shaped more like that, not like that. So the answer cannot be A. For B, this arrow is pointing towards the long side of this Z. So again, it would be shaped more like that. C, you fold this round, this side, and you would be facing this side of the Z. And then obviously a circle is the same from all angles. So the answer is C. This cube, these two faces don't touch at all, can't be A. When these two faces touch, this sun shape would have to be there. Instead, the arrow would be there. Can't be B. Could it be C? Let's see. Aha. So this flower and this arrow, the flower is the same from all angles, so this arrow would be touching it in that way. And then obviously, these two are already touching, and they make that shape. So the answer is C. Building blocks. So once again, we need to look at these like a clump of Lego. We need to take them apart into their separate different Lego pieces. So what have we got here? We've got a long piece in the back. This doesn't have a long piece, so it can't be A. That's got the long piece. It's also got the L-shaped piece. Got that there. Square, square, got those. But this is another L-shaped piece there. That's the long piece instead. Can't be B for that reason. What about C? Well, it's got the L-shaped piece. That's good. It's got these two squares. It's got the long piece. But again, this doesn't work there. Because you've got that tiny little corner there that I've just coloured in. That implies that instead it is an L-shaped piece like that. So we need two L-shaped pieces. Got that, got that. One long piece. One short piece. And this, if you turn it on its side, could work there. Because it just fits in like that. So the answer is D. Question 39. Need a long piece, need a short piece, need an L-shaped piece. And then all of this is up in the air. There's quite a lot of uncertainty in this one about what the shape could be. But one thing for sure, this does not have an L piece. Remember A? Letter A, sorry. So it can't be A. What about B? Well, it's got a small square, it's got the L shape, it's got this tall one, but this right here can't be made up by this L. So it's, I'm afraid it's not B. But C. That's quite a funky shape. We haven't had that one before. But it's got this the square, and it's got this L shape, L piece. It's got this long one. L piece goes there, small one goes there. What if this long one went across there? And this one, you face it like that, face it away, could go there. The answer is C. Question 40. Long piece, short one, short one. That's an L piece. And that is where we need to think about gravity. It could be either B or C, because they both have the long piece, they both have the two little squares, and they both have the L piece that we need. But something needs to go in this back corner here. If it's a short piece, it would be standing on nothing. So it would fall down and it would be unable to be seen. If you get this piece 2 blocks tall, you can stand it upright like that, and it would fit next to the rest and it wouldn't fall down. So the answer for this one is B. What about 41? What we need, L piece, block, 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 another L piece. You see this little dip here shows that we need an L piece for that. L piece, block, block, L piece, then we're missing out on that block there. What about this? L piece, no second L piece, can't be B. This, although this block helped us earlier, has no place on this model. Not that. What about D? It's got the 2 L pieces, and it's got the 3 little squares. 1, 2, 3. The answer is D. Moving on to verbal reasoning. One of these letters can go in both of these brackets to create words out of all of them. So what about N? Train, night, both words. Kiln, nodge, those aren't words. The answer is not N. although it works for the first one, has to work for the second one as well. What about L? Trail. Yep, that works. Light works. Kill. Yep. Lodge, as in a house. That works. The answer is L. Question 2. Creed. That's a word. Dare. I don't believe it is. Skipping through. P. Creep. Yep. Pear. Yep, pair of socks. Tulip. The flower. Pinch. They're all words. The answer is P. T. Plant. That's a word. Ting. Probably not a word. But what about K? Plank. Plank of wood. That's a word. King. Yep. Slick. Keep. They're all words. The answer is K. What about question 4? B. Plaid. Not a word. D. Plaid. Not a word. W. No. Skipping to N, because I know what the answer is. Plan. That's a word. Near word. Clan. Clash of Clans. 9. The number. Question 5. F. Scarf. Yep. Fast. Yep. Proof. And furry. They're all words. The answer is F. Two pairs. So one of these words will be related to both of these groups. Let's look through here. Squad. Does the word squad relate to edge or face? No, but it does relate to team or group. They're synonyms with each other. Team and group mean the same sort of thing as squad. The answer here is side. Edge and face and side, they're all parts of shapes. Team and group, you can be on the same side as someone, you can be on the same team as someone. Side relates to both of these groups of words. Question 7. The answer is flat. Level and smooth are both ways to describe surfaces. You can have a level surface, you can have a smooth surface, you can have a flat surface. And a flat is another type of home. Question 8. Charge. If you rush somewhere, you're going somewhere quickly. You charge towards something, you're going to there quickly. And you can charge your phone, you can refill your phone, energize your phone. It's all about energy. So charge relates to both of those. Question 9. The answer is incense. It's a type of smell. You use incense to make a room smell nice, same as scent, aroma. And incense also means to make someone angry. Final one. Catch and mount and plank and panel. Board. You can catch a train, board a ship, mount a horse. It's all ways of getting onto a mode of transport. Then plank of wood, wooden panel, wooden board. In each of these questions, one of these letters can be moved across from this word, go into this word, and then it makes two new words. The answer here, T. You take the T out of stock, you have sock, item clothing. Put the T into axes, you get taxis, plural of taxi. Here you have O to make vice, vice president. Add it into pint to make point. Here, take the N out. You got rage as in anger. Add it into grid to make grind. Here, take the E out. Like haven. Have a safe haven. Perhaps. Add the E into bard. Makes beard. Severe. Take the E out. Makes sever. Means chop something off. Add the E into yarn to make yearn, which means you long for something. You want something badly. In this section, you add this, one of these words, into that word there to make the sentence make sense. The answer here is tan. You saw Jack esting by himself in the park. You add tan in there. You saw Jack standing by himself. Paul showed a great cage standing up to the bully. Paul showed great courage standing up to the bully. You add ow in there, and you get courage. Mary always writes only in her 11 plus mock test. Neatly. Mary always writes. I can't spell. Mary always writes neatly in her 11 plus mock test. The answer is E. The cat followed Mary all the way back to her home. Followed. You add in low and you get followed. On to the final sheet of the paper. So for question 20, there is a mistake in my copy of it where it should instead read perter. Would that be instead being an R? That would mean that the answer would be bed. You add in bed on the end of that, becomes perturbed, meaning feeling anxiety or concern. So the answer is B. This next section, each of these numbers corresponds to one of these words. And each of those letters, say 2 for example, this isn't it, but 2 would be S, 4 would be T, and then that would stay the same for all of the words. And then we use that to create a code to work out these words. So what we need to do, we need to look for letters that are in all of the words. See? A. A is in every one of those words. But what number is in all of these? 4. That means 4 is most likely A in our code. See this? 24756. That 4 is the second number in that code, meaning it's the second letter in the word. But what word has A as the second letter? Well, March. 24756. Each of those numbers corresponds to each of those letters. We can also look at this. Toast has a T at the beginning and end. This code has a 1 at the beginning and end. So we can assume that this number correlates to toast. And each of those is one of these. See, S is 3. We can add that in there. 3, 1. From that we can work out steam isn't one of those. That must mean chase is this one. So now we should have all of the letters that we need to work out ow. Codes. Seat, S. We see here, S is 3. Which of these starts with 3? C and E do. What's E? E is 8. C has 3841. Let's just check that. 3 is S. E is 8. 4 is A. And T is 1. Seat is 3841. Tooth. As we know, 1 is T. O is 9. So that should be 199. 199 for all except those two. 1991. Just to check, 6H, is that correct? Yep, as we can see that is. Next questions. If the code for heard is JGTF, what is the code for rule? So we're using a new code. We're not using the numbers anymore. HERD becomes JGTF. Have you noticed anything here? If I highlight these, J, G, T, and F. Am I able to change colour? I am able to change colour. HERD. Have you noticed that these letters are always 2 letters after? So for rule, if we just look at what is 2 letters after each of these letters, we can start off with T, cross those out. U, 2 letters after that is W. TW, yep. L, 2 letters after that is N. So the answer is D, but just to check, E, 2 letters after that, G, yep. Question 24, slightly different. Not only are we looking at the final code and trying to go back on ourselves to find the original word, it's also not the same distance between the letters as it was before. Before it was go forward 2. Now the amount you go forward or backwards changes throughout the word. So look here. T in topic becomes Q. That's back 3. But O becomes P, which is forward 1. So we need to work through this as we go along. Z, we've gone back 3 to Z, so we want to go forward 3 to find our letter. So 1, 2, 3. C. M. Since we went forward from O to P, from topic to this, we want to go back to L. CL. Let's cross those off. CL, CL. L. What do we want to do from L? From P to M, we've gone, once again, back 3. So from L, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, forward. CLO, all of them, CLO. V. From I to J, forward 1. So we want to go back 1 from V to U. Now we're getting somewhere. Cross that off, cross that off. It will most likely be cloud, but we want to make sure. So from C to Z, we went 1, 2, pretend that A is there, 3, back 3. So from A, we want to go forward 3. 1, 2, 3. D. Our word is cloud. Find a four-letter word that comes from at least 2 consecutive words in this sequence. So the example they give here, every day I exercise at the gym, they've seen the S-E-A-T from exercise and at, and that's created the word seat, as in a chair. So what we want to use here, the little child screamed with annoyance. T-H-A-N, than, that creates the word than, as in more than, less than. You should not hinder people when at work. We can use these to give us a clue of what we're looking for. Well, when is already a word. That's in the passage, so we don't want that one. Note. There's a not there, but there's no E after that one. So no. Thin. My circle's getting in the way of that. Do you see that? Thin. That's our word. Find one word that does not share the same connection as the other words. Gale, hurricane, tornado, weather, whirlwind. Well, they all seem like they're weather. But gale is wind, hurricane is wind, tornado is wind, whirlwind, wind. But weather can be any one. It can be wind, but it can also be rain. It can be sun. So the answer is D, weather. Verb, colon, noun, adjective, adverb. These are all words. But colon is a piece of punctuation. The rest are words, and they're all used in sentences. But colon is a piece of punctuation. So yeah, that's the end of the test.